Hi, Magnificent here again. I am here to talk about Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which I really enjoyed. I'm going to be just stream of consciousness going through this, so there's going to be spoilers for both this and maybe Detective Pikachu, if I remember to mention that part. All right, so I really like this movie. It is so far the best American Godzilla movie, which is, I like the 2014 one, but it did have some issues. The human element was really weak, and I didn't like how grounded it was. Every single time you saw the monsters doing something, it was always from the viewpoint of some guy on the ground just running in from them, or just watching Godzilla fight the Mutos and everything. And I didn't like that. But in this movie, they allow the monster fights to just kind of breathe. They just show the monsters fighting. You see Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah, and you see Rodan fighting King Ghidorah, and Mothra fighting Rodan. Yeah, Rodan, like Godzilla and Mothra are the good monsters. King Ghidorah is a evil space monster. So, they're keeping that. They kept that. They kept that he's from space. And then Rodan is just a force of chaos. He just does whatever he wants to until the end of the movie. But yeah, if the first movie was too grounded, this movie goes the exact opposite direction. Not only is King Ghidorah from space, but I know in Kong Skull Island they mention the Hollow Earth a lot. And this one they actually go to it. And Godzilla has been using it to travel. And there's an ancient civilization down there. It's flooded. It's completely flooded. So it's pretty much Atlantis. But yeah, they just go with that. They just double down on like mythological elements. There are a lot of monsters in this movie in addition to the four I mentioned. Like Kong gets a cameo. There's no new footage of him. There's some new footage of Skull Island, but nothing from him. He's mentioned once, and like I said, he has a cameo. And three of the new monsters were like a giant spidery guy, a mammoth-ish thing, and something that looked like a giant Torterra from the Detective Pikachu movie. So, I don't know their names. I think they may have mentioned them. I didn't really see enough of their names to be like, oh yeah, that guy is Behemoth or whatever. The human element is a lot stronger in this one than the 2014 movie. It moves a lot quicker. Like the pacing for the human element is just better, and it's more intersected with the monster element. You've seen the trailer. You saw that guy being like, this time we'll join the fight. And all the human characters are at least somewhat likable. All the main ones. Like, there's no one in here that I was really itching to see die. Even the evil guys. Who, like, I don't know how they... Well, the good guys got out of the climax. So I guess the evil guys... Like, I will tell you this much. That evil gets thwarted, but the bad guys... There are bad guys. Because, if you watch any Godzilla movie from, like, the 70s, there's always, like, the monsters doing stuff, and then you have the humans doing something completely different. That kind of... It will bisect the monster action. And this movie is a lot like that. It's a lot like a later... Well, not later, mid-level... Not mid-level, mid-era Godzilla film. King Ghidorah is the only alien in this, but... the door's open. I think they could introduce the aliens in a future installment, and would really bat an eye on it. All right. In addition to the new mythological elements like the Hollow Earth and everything, they do bring back several things from the classic Godzilla movies. They have Godzilla's theme, Mothra's theme. I think they use another riff from the movies, but it might just be part of Godzilla's theme. Like the classic one, the speaking of Mothra, the Infinite Island connection is alluded to. I mean, there's a brief snapshot of two twins, well, a pair of twins. One pair of two women who are twins on Infinite Island, and it's a multi-generational thing, and the main characters, well, one of the main characters is the third generation of these twins. So it's not the tiny fairy women that were in the old movies, but I mean, it's still there. The Oxygen Destroyer makes an appearance. It's different. Also, it shows up halfway through the movie, which should tell you about its effectiveness. Let's see. But yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to get into with this. I liked it. The monster action was good. It was allowed to breathe. We were just allowed to see the monsters fighting each other. And the monster fights were good. All the monster stuff was good. The human stuff was... I mean, I'm going to level it with you. The human stuff was a mess. The plot was... It was like a improv thing for the plot. You start off one place, and then they just kept adding to things, and... There's a definite line from A to B, but it's like a ugly line. But I liked it. I liked that part. I like that the human part was just chaos. And all the principal human actors were good. There's no one in this movie I wanted to see less of. Everyone was used adequately. Millie Bobby Brown did a good job. She actually did a really good job. She's pretty much, like, if you watch the old ones, there's always going to be that, little Japanese boy with really weirdly short shorts, and she's kind of taken his place as the human child element, and she just does so much better of a job than what they would saddle those poor children with. I don't know many of the other actors' names. You're not gonna go see this movie and be like, well, I wanted to see Angsty McGruff guy more. Because Angsty McGruff guy did do a pretty good job. I would have liked to see... I think my favorite human character, though, was the main... The twin... The Infant Island twin that we got to know the most. I liked her the most, I think. I would like to see her in more Godzilla films. Or any movies, really. And the villain element... I mean... Their plan was a mess, but it worked. It's a lot more anarchic, filled with anarchy than you would expect from a movie like this. All right. So, it's a brisk film. I would suggest going to see it. It is not a very cerebral film. I don't think anyone was expecting it to be. And I would have liked to see Godzilla fight one of the lesser monsters, like just see him take out someone. But I mean, I would have also liked to see one of those Maser tanks that I think I heard Ingurius once. But mainly they're just an annoyance to Godzilla. He just kicks them over. I would like to see those. Okay, so yeah. I mean, there's room for improvement, which is good. The monster fights were fantastic. I would just like to see more of those. And I would keep most of the cast from this. They did a good job. I want to see them in the next Godzilla vs. Kong. Alright, so that's it. I would recommend this movie. Especially if you're a fan of the old Godzilla movies. If you're not, then it's a good action movie. And it's a good Godzilla movie. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. Alright, so that's it for this. I may change my opinion at some point. This is my hot take, as it were. But that's it. This is Mikenificent signing off.